Welcome to English with Tony. Let's dive into the next chapter of the story of Donald Trump about how he became president of the USA. Part 3, Stepping into Politics, a New Mission. By the early 2010s, Donald Trump was already a very famous businessman and TV star. He had buildings with his name in New York, hotels in other countries, and a hit show on TV, The Apprentice. Many people knew his face and his voice. He had money, fame, and success, but Trump wanted more. Not just for himself, but for his country. Trump began speaking more about America, its problems, and its future. He often said that things were getting worse. He talked about jobs moving overseas, crime in cities, and unfair trade deals. Many people listened. Some agreed with him. They felt like no one in Washington, not the politicians, was helping regular Americans. They wanted change. Trump believed he could be that change. At first, people didn't take him seriously. He had never worked in politics. He had no experience as a governor or senator. But in June 2015, Donald Trump shocked the country. He stood at the top of an escalator in Trump Tower, came down with his wife Melania, and announced, "I am officially running for President of the United States." People laughed. The media said he had no chance. But Trump didn't care. He believed he could win by speaking directly to the people. He didn't use fancy political words. He spoke in a simple, strong way that many people understood. He said things like, "Make America great again. Build the wall. America first." He focused on jobs, immigration, and keeping America safe. He promised to bring back factories, lower taxes, and protect the borders. He also said he would be a president who does what he says. Soon, more and more people started supporting him. They went to his rallies. They wore red "Make America Great Again" hats. Many were people who had never voted before. Some had lost jobs. Others felt their voices didn't matter. But Trump made them feel heard. In the Republican Party, he beat 16 other strong candidates, including senators and governors. He surprised everyone. By the summer of 2016, he became the Republican nominee for president. His main opponent was Hillary Clinton, a former First Lady and Secretary of State. She had many years of experience in politics. Most news channels said she would win. But again, Trump believed in himself and in the people. The campaign was full of debates, news stories, and strong opinions. People either loved Trump or hated him. He was not a safe candidate, but he was different. He promised to be a fighter for the forgotten men and women of the country. On November 8, 2016, millions of Americans voted. And when the results came in, the world was shocked. Donald J. Trump was elected the 45th President of the United States. He had never been a mayor, governor, or senator. But now, he would lead the most powerful country in the world. It was one of the biggest upsets in political history. Trump's victory showed one thing: never say never. Even if people laugh at you, even if they say you can't win, if you believe in yourself and connect with others, anything is possible. His win sent a message to millions around the world. You don't have to be a politician to lead. You just have to have a strong message, a clear goal, and the courage to stand up. Of course, becoming president was just the beginning. The real work was still ahead. He would face challenges, criticism, and pressure every day. But Trump had faced hard times before. He had lost money, been laughed at, and come back stronger. Now he was in the White House, a businessman turned TV star, turned president. And once again, people around the world asked, what will Donald Trump do next? The journey of Donald Trump was far from over. Part 4. The Trump Presidency, Leading Through Storms. In January 2017, Donald Trump became the 45th President of the United States. The world watched as he stood at the U.S. Capitol and said the words, "I swear that I will faithfully execute the office of president." It was a proud moment for Trump and his supporters. A man who had never worked in politics was now the leader of a powerful nation. He had a big job ahead. He had to turn his campaign promises into real actions. From day one, President Trump moved quickly. He signed new orders, met with business leaders, and spoke strongly about making the U.S. better. His goal was to make America great again, and he wanted to show he meant it. One of his first promises was about jobs. He believed that too many American jobs were going to other countries like China and Mexico. So, he started working to bring factories back to the U.S. He lowered taxes for businesses and promised to create more work for Americans. Another big topic was immigration. Trump believed the U.S. needed stronger borders. He wanted to build a wall between the U.S. and Mexico. He said this would help stop illegal immigration and protect the country. This idea was very popular with some people, but also made others angry. He also chose strong people to help him. For example, he picked Mike Pence as vice president and Mike Pompeo as Secretary of State. They worked with him on issues like national security and foreign policy. But being president was not easy. Every day, Trump faced strong opinions. The news often criticized him. Many people protested in the streets. Some of his decisions, like banning travelers from certain countries, were taken to court. Still, Trump kept going. He used Twitter to speak directly to the people. He liked to share his thoughts and plans in his own words, without filters. Then in 2020, something happened that changed everything. COVID-19. The whole world was hit by a terrible virus. People got sick. Countries closed borders. Businesses shut down. Life stopped in many ways. And President Trump had to lead during this difficult time. He spoke to the nation from the White House. He promised that America would fight the virus and win. His team worked on vaccines, sent money to families, and tried to keep the economy strong. But the situation was very hard. People were afraid and confused. Some said Trump did a good job. Others said he made mistakes. Also in 2020, the U.S. faced racial protests after the death of George Floyd. Across the country, people marched for justice and equality. Trump spoke about law and order. He said he supported peaceful protests but warned against violence. Again, the country was divided. In November 2020, Americans voted again. This time, Trump ran against Joe Biden, a former vice president. The election was close. More Americans voted than ever before. In the end, Joe Biden won. Trump and many of his supporters believed the election was unfair. They asked for recounts and spoke about fraud, but the courts and officials said the results were correct. Trump did not attend Biden's inauguration. It was a rare moment in U.S. history. But even after leaving the White House, Trump remained very popular with millions of people. Many still called him their president. Looking back, Trump's 4 years in office were full of action, strong opinions, and big changes. He signed new trade deals, met with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, and moved the U.S. Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. His time as president was loud, fast, and often in the news. He changed the way many people think about politics and leadership. He was not perfect, and he made mistakes. But he also made history. He showed the world that a person outside of government could lead a country. He gave voice to people who felt forgotten. When his term ended in January 2021, one chapter closed, but another began. Because Donald Trump wasn't done yet.